Hi, I'm Meg.
And I'm David.
Welcome to The Average Vegans, a podcast to help you live an attainable vegan lifestyle. We're not the ripped influencer vegans you hear about in other podcasts. We're just some ordinary people living in the South, eating plants and loving animals.
All right, and on this episode, we are discussing our favorite vegan cookbooks.
I love a good cookbook.
It's nice.
It is.
You...
I'm a tangible person. I like something in my hand. Like I like to read real books. So I like real cookbooks in my hands.
Instead of imaginary books.
There you go.
Yes. Which is
instead of digital.
I think all books start out as imaginary books.
They do in your head.
Yes.
Even a cookbook.
Ooh. Do you actually use a cookbook like step by step, or is it more like inspiration?
I use it step by step, except I usually add more vegetables, if most of the time to what they're asking, because I just like to kind of throw in whatever I have in the kitchen, use up what I have. So I wouldn't say I complete them exactly the same, but they're pretty close. Cool. But I use cookbooks a lot. I use Pinterest as well, and Google recipes and stuff, but cookbooks are my primary recipe location. Look at that. That sounds fancy.
Location.
Do you use cookbooks?
I do. I use them mainly for inspiration. Kind of like what I want tonight. What am I thinking? There's a couple of recipes, and we'll talk a little bit about here in a bit that I may do like almost dead on, like what it says. But usually it's kind of like I want something that's a little more like on the like a sandwich, but one like a spicy sandwich. And so I'll go and hunt around the books that I have, and sometimes some online, depending, and just kind of say, oh, that sounds good. But I might remove this, add that. I want a little bit heavier spice. Maybe I also love garlic, so I'll use like 3 times that. And,
exactly.
So yeah, for me, they're more of like I treat it more like it's like jazz. It's like, okay, the notes are there, but I'm going to play with the notes a little bit. Little boop do bop shoo bop dop do bop do bop.
Oh,
which is more David Lee Roth than jazz, but I think everybody gets it.
You're so strange tonight.
Wacky.
You were all in for it.
Make them laugh. Make them laugh. All right.
So we both use cookbooks, and I'm curious if our listeners use cookbooks as much as we do. I wonder if vegans use cookbooks more often than non-vegans. I feel like they would.
I think so, especially if you're just starting out. You're not quite sure the direction to go.
Right.
I've even picked up just like flipping through random cookbooks and stuff at like Mayim Sonoma and just different like Target and walking around.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cookbooks that aren't geared towards vegan actually either have a vegan section, or they even say if you're avoiding eggs or dairy, you can do They actually have a way to alter them, which is interesting. They're not even like geared toward a vegan, a vegan consumer, but they just there because most people, with veganism on the rise, you likely have a family member or someone you're cooking for who might have that need.
I've actually bought a few. I think they were Goodwill or yard sale cookbooks that are vegetarian.
Yeah.
And then I can just alter the recipe to fit because they just look like they had really cool recipes. So you can look for cookbooks just about anywhere. I just bought David a cookbook for Christmas, which we will talk about a little bit because it's on your list, which is exciting. And I have a cookbook on here that was given to me as a gift as well. So they're definitely something that you could give for Christmas, which we talked about in episode 10, the best vegan gifts or gifts for vegans, whatever we called it.
They know what it is. They listened to it. They enjoyed it. They gave us a 5-star review because it was so good. Maybe
I would hope so.
In fact, while you're listening, give us a gift.
There you go.
Maybe a follow, a thumbs up. Give us some 5 stars. It definitely helps us. People find us. It pushes up in the algorithm so people can find us better and hear my terrible, terrible jokes.
We would really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I do want to give a quick little shout out while we're doing this to our Belgium listener. I know there's just one of you because because you listen the second our episodes come out, and I love you. I don't know why. I just have a thing for you, and I hope you hear this. Maybe you could give me a little comment on Instagram. Let me know you heard this, because
I would.
I feel bonded with
I,
our Belgium listener.
I would say something in Belgish, but I don't know.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I know
Ignore him.
I know it's not Belgish.
Real horrible. All right, let's
I'm
get
just terrible.
into our first cookbook. I'm going to talk about a cookbook by Kristy Turner. It's called But I Could Never Go Vegan. And the title kind of goes with the theme. So every chapter is named after an excuse people give as to why they can't go vegan. I know, a great concept. So I have the book with me, so I'll read some to you. All those special ingredients are way more expensive. And then all the recipes are like, a few few simple ingredients, nothing crazy. I could never give up cheese, and they're all cheesy vegan recipes. And in all of those, you make your own kind of vegan cheese. It's not like you go and buy a brand, so it's even more exciting. But she says it is 125 recipes that prove you can live without cheese. It's not all about rabbit food, and your friends will still come over for dinner. I think that's just a great way of describing this book. And your friends will still come over for dinner, because majority of my friends are not vegan. And before COVID, I would have little dinner parties. I'd have people over, and everybody I know is vegan friendly. They're all very open to it. So just because you change the way you eat doesn't mean no one's going to want to hang out with you. I mean, you may lose one friend, but that weren't really a friend, right, David?
They weren't even. It's like, it's like if you don't support, if you can't take me at my worst, you can't take me at my best. And when you're vegan, you're at your best.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can fuck right off.
So some of the recipes I've made from this cookbook I made iced oatmeal cookies. Ooh. I made them for Thanksgiving and gave them to like two of my friends. I left them on their porch, little cookie surprise. They turned out amazing. I've made their Creole corn chowder. I love corn chowder, and you add Creole to it, make it a little spicy. It was amazing. Chowder. And I made tempeh bacon mac and cheese. Whew, it made me think of David, your basically what you make, right?
Vegan bacon chili mac.
Yeah, very similar to that.
But
Gabby
better,
loved
right?
it, my daughter, so
but
she likes it.
Mine's better.
Oh yes, yours is better. Yes,
exactly. Good answer.
Of course. So again, But I Can Never Go Vegan by Kristy Turner, a great cookbook. There are quite a few chapters all the way to dessert, and again, they're all named after an excuse as to why you can't go vegan, and the recipes prove why you can. It's an incredible concept, really great recipes. You guys will love it. David, you talk about one you like now.
So one I love, and this is actually, it's in my hand. I've actually used I've used it so much, it's like it's all wrinkly in some places.
Sign of a well-loved book.
Here's the proof of you've used your cookbook frequently enough. It's got stuff on it. Yes,
that is a good sign.
It's just got old, I don't know what that is. And it's just like, if you look at an angle, you're like, ew, it's crusty. But it's Bowls by Becky Striepe. And I believe she is actually a local chef and author here, actually in Atlanta.
Nice.
She also, I've actually had the luxury of interviewing her at one point in a previous life, and fantastic. She's sweet as can be. I love talking to her. Would love to talk to her again. Maybe we can have her on here sometime.
I would love that.
Yeah, it's great. But it's just bowls. It's literally just that. It's breakfast bowls, fruit type bowls, oatmeals, different types of oatmeals, things like that. Lunches, dinners, sauces. But what I love about it, and I talk about the two things that I actually make from here. I've made from here. One of them I make fairly often. Is it's simple.
Right.
And that's what's so great, especially if you're just kind of making that transition, or you've been vegan for a while and you're like, oh, I'm tired of making the same old fancy stuff. I need something that's just, I need lunch. I need dinner. We need to get this going. and it's ingredients mostly you'll have in the house, or you can just run to the store and get, and it's not a crazy stuff. And I love bowl dishes, especially if you have a family you need to feed quickly. You can make a big pot or a big thing, and everybody just like fills their bowls up, and they're good. You don't have to like make a bunch of stuff.
Right.
There's the two things that I have made. One of them actually made as a side dish for like, I think it was like Thanksgiving one year, and it's a superfood salad, and it's just it's quinoa, and it's just quinoa, kale, lemon, olive oil, pomegranate, avocado, onion, and that's it, and a little bit of salt.
Perfect.
But it's so
Simple.
good. It's got sweetness, a little bit of bitter, a little bit of sour, and it's hearty. It's like that quinoa. It's good proteins, good fats.
Right.
But it's simple.
Perfect
like
balance.
The strangest ingredient is pomegranate seeds.
But it would be so good.
Yeah.
So good.
And you can I go to Kroger right now and get a little cup of pomegranate seeds for like $1.50. It's so easy. And the thing I make all the time, and again, it's all like weird and wrinkly where I have it marked. And I love this, and I'm serious. It's so easy to make, and you'll love it. And now that I have air fryer, oh my god, I'm gonna make it again with an air fryer. I haven't made it with an air fryer.
Oh my god, you're so excited.
Is a peanut butter tofu bowl.
Ooh,
it is crazy.
Tell me more.
It's so you just it's a peanut the peanut butter sauce is in here, and I'm not gonna go into it. It's got it's very it's kind of got like a Thai flavor to it, so it's a little sweet and spiciness to it. Of course, it's to taste, just how you want. And you basically coat your tofu, kind of like what we call tofu steaks, like little rectangles.
Okay, yeah.
You coat those, and when you bake them, it's supposed to be baked. I'm sure, but you can air fry it. It turns into like it almost like a crust to it.
Ooh.
Because you bake it, dehydrates, pulls all the water out of it, so it gets like it's thicker and gets like almost crustiness to it. So it's like a really thick sauce, but you put sweet potato, mashed sweet potato, seasoned kale, and you put the peanut butter tofu on top.
Sounds delicious.
Oh my god, it's just fantastic. It's my favorite go-to. It's warm and it's filling, and it's just like it's fantastic. It's easy to make. Steam some potatoes, mash them, steam some kale and season it. Put it on top of that. Bake or air fry your tofu with this peanut butter sauce on it, and that's dinner.
I just love that you're so different with cookbooks, because like we said in the last episode, you like specific.
Yes.
You like that it's bowls. I like where it's just like, a bunch of different recipes, but you're like, I like, if I want a bowl, or if I want a sandwich, or if I want a burger, I have a cookbook for those specific things.
I have a burger one over there. I didn't have this list because they're our favorite. I picked 3 of my favorite. I have a burger one over there. I have one that's just like deep South soul food kind of a thing. Ooh, I also have a vegan paleo over there. So yeah, my cookbooks that I tend to prefer are very like they're either specific to bowls or sandwiches, or they're very specific genre.
Interesting.
So, all right, another one from you.
All right, I'm gonna go with the 15-minute vegan comfort food cookbook by Katy Beskow. My favorite things about this: 15 minutes in comfort food. You cannot go wrong with that. Everyone loves a good, like, comforting meal. And if it only takes 15 minutes, and some of these are like one pot recipes, you can't go wrong. So they're very much like you just said, how in your cookbook, the bowls where there not a lot of ingredients. It's pretty simple. It's the same thing with this. Simple and satisfying, very few ingredients, but they're fresh. They're done well. It's little effort, which helps keep costs down, so people always complain that being vegan is so expensive. Well, non-vegans say that. But with cookbooks like this, you can take like 5 ingredients and have a delicious meal, and it's perfectly fine. And it saves a ton of money, like I said. So some of the recipes I've had or made, I made the French onion soup because my husband loves French onion soup. And it's literally just like olive oil, onions, brown sugar, some garlic, red wine, vegetable stock, and like a few other seasonings. That's it. Like, it's super simple, but it's delicious. It was so good. I let it cook for a while, and then we had some like crunchy bread with it. It was amazing.
Oh man, that's crunchy bread.
Right? You have to have the bread with the French onion soup. You can't not have. Cannot have bread. That would be weird.
Is it like French style? French style is all like soft and
yes.
Oh man.
You have to.
Oh,
It's
bruh,
almost
so
like you're
much.
back in Panera days when you could eat
I
there.
miss Panera. They
um,
took my soup away. That I only soup I could have. They took it away.
right. Like they had.
Ugh.
Is it the black bean one they took away?
Yes, that was the
Yes,
only vegan soup they had,
motherfuckers.
and they took it away.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh,
You guys
they only
suck.
had one sandwich, too. And they took that away.
They had there's one that I alter, but I actually don't even like it, so I don't go there.
Yeah,
I was like
I've
even
been in.
altering it, I didn't like
I've been
it.
almost over a year. Anyway, you know me. I'll ramble. Go ahead.
Right, right. So 15-minute vegan comfort food. My other recipe that I've made in here is spicy beer battered cauliflower wings. So they were delicious. I don't like beer batter, I found out. I was like, don't like beer. So don't know why I thought I would. But if you look over that part of it, they were delicious. My husband devoured them, but I was like, this tastes like beer a little bit. Too much for me. So if I took that part out of it, it would be amazing. So again, this is super easy food, but comfort food, especially during the winter. This is the kind of cookbook you would want. You want something where you can make like a good soup, a chili, a stew, something like that, and it just keeps you warm. And it's again quick, easy. That's what we're looking for in this world.
Absolutely. Especially, like I was thinking, we have, we're getting near the end of the year. We also have, family. We probably have kids coming in from college, such as yourself. They're home.
Yes, I
Probably have
do.
more mouths to feed than you used to.
Mm-hmm.
People, then, maybe you have family in town that's kept it safe this year, or maybe you're having to like deal with more mouths in the house. Something quick and easy to make is probably going to help you a lot better. Also, great gifts because you got the New Year's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
People set a lot of goals. May have less time in the kitchen, but because they're trying to like learn a new instrument or maybe eat healthier, and cookbooks are a good way to kind of make those changes and adjustments.
Absolutely.
Uh, my second one is
Go.
it's got a little history. It's been
It does. It's one of my favorites too, though.
it's great. But it's been under fire, metaphorically.
Mm-hmm.
That is Thug Kitchen. For those that don't, before I
Yes.
go into it, Thug Kitchen, they kind of borrowed the an urban vernacular, and they've
Mm-hmm.
kind of caught a little bit of little hell for that because like it's a white couple, it's a Caucasian couple that
It
does
is a
it
white couple.
right, and because they
Should not be using terms like that.
yeah, and then that's a whole other discussion because like I have
But
family who grew up in those same settings, and I am of the
recipes are
Caucasian
good.
persuasion, and they speak the same way. So I think that
Right.
they're appropriating an urban culture, but it's not really a
Yes.
skin culture. It's more of a culture of the individual who grew up in that area. So I can understand the issue with that. But I have family who grew up in the same area, and this is how they talk to the
Right.
point where like when I'm around them, I talk like this. I get a
Well,
little,
the recipes in this cookbook are so good that
yes.
I own it
So
as well.
yes,
Like
so
I normally would boycott such like things that I don't agree with, but these freaking recipes are insane.
right, they're
And I'm all about food.
oh my god, they're fantastic. There are some that are have like they're a little take a little time to put together.
Yes.
Have a little extra ingredients you may not normally have around the house. One thing that I love reading it because again it's the language they use and something that I grew up
Mhm.
in like the Austell area. We had like gangs and stuff in there, so I'm kind of used to that kind of like that language and people speaking that way. So it almost kind of takes me back a little bit to my childhood of being around people who are a little more rough and had a little bit of heavier urban vernacular. Also, it's a great word. Vernacular is a fun word. It really is. Yeah. So I'm gonna see if I can find something that's not too crazy. Actually, there are two. Something just fell out. Oh, a little bookmark I had in there, a piece of paper bookmark fell out. There are two recipes that I've done. There's a chickpeas and dumplings. I've done. It's really
Ooh.
good. I switched the dumplings out because I alter. So I didn't the dumplings because you had to like get like a bunch. Like for example, it's a bunch of chives. That's literally one bunch of chives, which I don't really keep in the house, and also
Right.
unsweetened plain almond milk. I don't really keep unsweetened because I don't. I use vanilla almond milk. I don't use unsweetened.
Right.
So if I had unsweetened almond milk, it's a waste. So I think I did like I think I did like a pasta instead.
Oh,
I did everything was the
interesting.
same, and so I just used the pasta instead. Again, like I've said before, I used my books as inspiration and go, I don't even make the
Right.
dumplings. It's a pain in the ass, and also I don't want to buy chives. Like, and this a bottle of something I'm not going to use, it'll go bad. It's a waste of money, waste of food. But I have
Right.
pasta. I always have pasta in the house.
Always.
So I'm gonna try. I'm terrible at reading aloud. I'm gonna read this because it's kind of. I think it kind of. Again, I mark these episodes as explicit for a reason, and this is one of them. F bombs are coming.
Okay.
F bombs be coming. All right. So this is a description of the chickpeas and dumplings. It says this stew is thick and our personal favorite. If you've never had some version of this southern staple, then get the fuck on it. These dumplings are rolled out like delicious fluffy noodle things, and not just those shitty drop dumplings that other people use. Yeah, that's right. Shots fired on the dumpling wars. It's just
Love
fun
it.
to read. You like
Love
to get
it.
into it. So yeah. The other thing I made from this that I absolutely love is roasted sriracha cauliflower bites with peanut dipping sauce.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Oh, it is so good. I made this for a Super Bowl party,
Oh,
and I was the only vegan there.
and they ate it all.
I
Didn't
didn't get any.
they? Oh my god.
They were gone,
You-
and I got
I
none of
love
them.
that so much.
I was so hungry because I brought like salsa chips and this. I'm like, no one's eating my cauliflower. Gone. Like, there's a guy who had a plate. Who made these? These are good. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
I have tears. I'm laughing so hard. That's
That's
so
all I had.
funny.
So I ate chips and salsa and guacamole all friggin' night at the Super Bowl party.
Oh god.
And there's one year I didn't bring them, and someone brought it up that they weren't there.
Where's those cauliflower things,
Yeah, they're like,
David?
hey,
That's why we invited you.
Someone legit was like, it's like big old like a good old boy was like, where are those hot cauliflower things someone brought last time? I was like, I didn't have time to make
They
them. Oh, man,
remembered
bring
it
them
a
next
year later.
Right, straight up hardcore meat eaters in it, but they were like, "Where are those cauliflower wings?" I'm like, "Oh shit!" So yeah,
You're not going to be allowed in the door next time.
I'm telling
You're
you,
going to
right?
have to bring them.
What's sad is that I usually go to this. It's a buddy of mine I see once a year, which sucks. I should see more often, but we're adults, we're
Right.
busy. You know, he's got 2 kids, one in college, and I have my life. And so only time I see him is on Super Bowl. Not this year.
No,
Not gonna
this
see him.
year.
Not gonna
No.
see him. I don't know his stance on COVID. I'm not gonna really get into it with him. But it's just obviously we can't do it. There's no way we can do
No.
it safely. So it sucks. I can't see him in Super Bowl
Yeah,
this year.
it's
So
sad.
it'll make Super Bowl 2022 that much better though.
That's right. Exactly. That's what I keep saying. We can make it through this year. It'll be fine.
Oh yeah, we fine.
All right. So my next one is Mayim's Vegan Table by Mayim. I always say her last name wrong, but Bialik, whatever.
Bialik.
She's from Blossom and Big Bang Theory. Okay.
Bialik.
You know who she is. Yes. And it's also by Dr. J. Gordon. So I love her. She is a little kooky crazy a little bit sometimes, but I love her anyway. And she's been vegan for like gazillion years.
That's a lot of
like
years.
one of the OGs.
That's so many years.
A gajillion.
A gajillion. That's like all of them. That's all of the years.
All of the years. So her thing said, like the little tagline on here says, more than 100 great tasting and healthy recipes from my family to yours. So what's interesting about this cookbook is the first like 4 chapters have no recipes. It's all about being vegan and about like going vegan. So what I think is kind of cool is the first chapter is like, why should you listen to us? Why should you even read this book? Like, who are we? And why are you like, should you open this book and listen to us? Which I think is kind of nice that they, do that. Then they talk a lot about why plant-based eating is better for us. What kind of things you actually eat when you're on a plant-based or a vegetarian or vegan diet. Oh, my mouth. What's wrong with me? All the words came out wrong.
I think I'm wearing off on you is what it is.
And then like stocking your plant-based kitchen, which I think is a great chapter to kind of give you those staples that you're going to need for other recipes. So like they kind of prepare you before they even give you anything to make. And I really love that. Now, this is not, some revolutionary recipe. She took her favorites, she took classics, she took the things you had when you were a kid, and she made everything vegan. So if it's baked ziti, she teaches you how to have it vegan, which isn't, that hard, but it definitely helps people that are kind of wondering how they can eat their favorite stuff, but in a vegan way. So I've had her breakfast burrito, basic, I mean, there's nothing like crazy about it, but it
Mhm.
kind of helped me, play with different flavors and different ideas. I have made her matzo ball soup. Oh, I miss that stuff. I used to love matzo ball soup. So when I moved to Georgia, I met a family. I'm sure one of you is listening now. What's up? And they would make matzo ball soup once a year, and I had never had it, never even heard of it. So I got very excited the first year, and I have been a big, big, big fan ever since. So I have definitely made the vegan version of it. And I've made her falafels, her zucchini chips. Like I've really made a lot in here because again, it's stuff It's, nothing crazy. Oatmeal cookies, a veggie chili, how to make sushi in a bowl, like, a nice little bowl with like sushi stuff in it. So I mean, she's not, reinventing the wheel, but she's definitely giving you those classics that you miss when you're trying to make all these fancy vegan meals, and kind of brings you back down to like the basics. And it's a really, really great cookbook, especially if you're just now going vegan. Like this is great for beginners for sure.
Speaking of books that are not great for beginners, in my opinion, which is not a knock on the book.
My next one is not great for beginners either, so
Right.
go for
It's,
it.
that's not fair. It's really good if you're experienced in the kitchen. If you're just starting out, it's probably might be a little intimidating.
I
It's
agree.
also the Christmas Sift I got
Yes.
from Mega here.
Woo, woo, woo.
It is Vegan 100. It is over 100 incredible recipes from avant-garde vegan. We actually brought his channel up on our influencers episode.
Yes, we did.
So he is a YouTube influencer, also amazing Instagram, amazing
Hmm.
shots of like food and things he's making, kitchen shots, just inspiration, like massive inspiration. I'm getting some sounds in the background here. Uh,
And his name is Gaz Oakley.
yes, thank you. I was like, what is
Yes.
his
Hmm.
name? It's like
He's got the coolest name.
there's something about his name. It's like in the book, it's like so far down at the bottom. I'm like, oh no, where is it? Okay, that's it. But he is a classically trained chef, and all of his, I mean, his food is all like a work of art.
It really is.
I think it's what I do love about it is he does stuff that's very simple. Like he has on his YouTube channel, he has meal prep videos, and
Hmm.
I think I've made all of his meal prep videos, like with some slight alterations, but I made almost all of them because I meal prep every week. Fantastic. I put all of my meal prep stuff in an app to make sure I'm getting the calories and all that stuff. I
Hmm.
had to alter it a little bit to get like less protein, more protein, more or less calories, depending on what I'm working on.
Right, right.
Uh, but his book is very the same thing. It's there's a lot of stuff in there that's a little bit daunting, things you definitely won't have.
Right.
And there's a few in there that are very, very simple that are amazing, especially like some sides of. I mean, just flipping through. I just got it, so I'm probably gonna do some
Right.
meal prepping with this actually to see how it goes.
Yay.
So yeah, so some examples of like there's one that's a Moroccan chickpea omelet, which looks the picture is absolutely amazing. And like chickpea flour is fine. Cumin, I have cumin, cayenne pepper, paprika. But then there's the 1 teaspoon of Ras El Hanout. No
See,
clue.
I just skip it.
No clue. And
It'd be fine without
well,
it.
that's the problem. Like I do that. I'll go like I'll see recipes and I'll go like, I mean, do I really need that? And then I have to go, this is pretty good, but it wasn't great. And I'm thinking, oh crap, maybe I needed that. Like I never in my entire life have ever purchased or used a bay leaf.
Okay.
No clue.
Okay.
I will tell you now, bay leaves. It does nothing. I don't think bay leaf actually does a single freaking thing.
There's a conspiracy.
It has to be. It has to be like the culinary world is like we have these crappy little dry leaves. What do we do with them? Put them
See
in
if we
like
get people to
soups
use
and
them.
sauces. People don't use them because we got to do something with them. I still don't know. Please, for the love
Oh,
of God, someone,
God.
if you know what a bay leaf is actually good for and it actually makes a difference, email us.
I mean, I use them. I'm assuming they make a difference. It's just part of my
That's
Italian
that's it.
heritage.
That's it. It's assumption, man. It's assumption. TheAverageVegans@gmail.com. Email me. Let me know. No, man. Try it without. Try this recipe with and without it. You'll see the difference. Next time, make it without a bay leaf. See if anyone in your family notices.
They wouldn't. They really
won't,
wouldn't.
because it's a dry leaf. It does nothing. I fully believe it has no use.
I hate you.
Gaz would come over and hit me in the face. I guarantee.
He would.
Because he actually does. He does boxing and stuff too. He'd be like, it does everything. It adds more depth. People say it adds depth. No, it doesn't. It does nothing. It's a leaf. It doesn't do jack. Whenever I see like one bay leaf. No.
That's gonna be our merch now. It's gonna be like a bay leaf with a cross through it.
There's
like no bay leaves in this
One only bay leaf.
podcast.
I want to know what the point is. I even looked up what a bay leaf is for. Like, it adds depth and flavor. No, it doesn't. It does nothing. A bay leaf is a useless ingredient. That it's just a conspiracy. It's a culinary conspiracy. That's our merch. The bay leaf is a culinary conspiracy. I'm making a shirt that says that because oh my god, it does nothing. Anyway, I'm
so glad no one can see me. I'm like, I have tears. You crack me up.
But when I see an ingredient that's so random, like Ras Al Hanout, which I'm probably pronouncing terribly, like it's got to be important because it's so like specific, that thing that I've never heard before. It's got to be like the most important thing. And then he has this thing that's amazing. It's seitan filet steak Wellington. And it's
I've seen that one.
It's extremely involved. And when you look at it, and the pictures look just like I would never be able in my life to make this. But ingredient wise, it's not that bad. The only thing that I don't have on hand in most cases, or what I even keep in my fridge, is miso paste. But
you
else,
could attempt that for Christmas. Like make that as your big Christmas meal.
Right. Yeah. It looks amazing. I'm sure it'd be good for like a meal prep too. But
yeah,
it's mostly just some dried mushrooms and stuff I have in the house or can get easily.
Right. Right.
So yeah,
and you would use miso paste again because
I'm sure
there's a lot of things. Yeah, a lot of recipes ask for that. So.
I've had it before at my house before, and I ended up going bad because I didn't use enough of it.
Yeah, me too.
But I used it. I made like a miso soup and stuff out of it quite often when I was. I think I got it when I wasn't feeling well. I was like, oh, it's miso soup, so I used that.
I feel like if you didn't live so far from me, which we complain, it's like an hour. It's not that far, but if you didn't live so far from me, we could like get things like that and split it in half, and you can have half, I can have half.
I might be moving
That'd
soon.
be so handy.
I might move that direction. We'll see. But then he has another one that's beetroot, sweet potato, orange, and walnut salad, and it's just it just sounds like an amazing side to this like that Wellington, right? And it's
it does.
It's just beets, potatoes, thyme, olive oil, arugula, spinach, walnuts. And then some like olive oil, white wine vinegar, just simple stuff.
Sounds beautiful.
You can get for easily at the store for very low, for next to nothing, and half the stuff I probably have in my fridge right now. So that's why I do love books like this that are like, okay, this is a challenge, and
right?
What is this I gotta go buy now? And here's the thing. I want to say this. If you're looking at a cookbook, and you see ingredients that you don't recognize, don't count that book out.
Right.
Because what you may find is that ingredient you've never used before is now your fucking favorite thing, and you're gonna make with it all the time, and it open. That's what about veganism in general is it kind of opens your world up.
Absolutely.
Because you've been taught how to eat the same thing for years, decades, in most of our cases. So, and now you're at a position where like not only you have to like start changing what you're eating, you're also buying cookbooks and reading things and, well, how do I make this? And you see the weird ingredient like, what's Ross? I keep saying Ross Al Ghul, which is a Batman character. But what is this? What is this ingredient? I don't know. I go find it and buy it. Now I'm like, oh my God, it's like sweet and spicy. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's sweet spicy.
Right.
That's awesome. And now I make so much stuff just with this ingredient, and it opens up my world.
Right, because then you go search for other recipes with that ingredient because now you have it. You got to use it. So now you can try other stuff. Yeah, it leads to more things. Yeah,
I've been vegan 10 years. I have no idea what that ingredient is. But now I want to try it just to go, oh my God, where has this been my entire life? Mm-hmm. Start selling blood just to get more of it so I can have, But anyway, it's just that's one thing I love about veganism. It just opens up your world to more fruits and vegetables and stuff in general and spices you never would have touched. But if you get a cookbook or looking to give a cookbook and you're like, I don't know what some of these ingredients are, don't count it out. especially if you're a bit more comfortable in the kitchen and you're okay kind of trying something different, don't count that out because it will open your world up so much.
Good tip. Our last cookbook is one I have not cooked from, but it is a work of art. It is one of the most beautiful books that I own. It's called I Can Cook Vegan. I'm going to try to say her name. Chandra Moskowitz.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So she's the best-selling author of Veganomicon.
Veganomicon.
Right? Okay.
Veganomicon.
Oh, my mouth.
Okay.
My mouth doesn't like to work.
So there's the Necronomicon, which was in Evil Dead. This is the Veganomicon.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So I received this book as a gift, and it is just so beautiful that I just look at it sometimes. I've never made anything from it, but I just look at it because it's so pretty. So in her introduction, I think this is perfect. It explains it exactly. She says, after a few decades of writing cookbooks, I think I'm beginning to get it. People want streamlined recipes with easy to follow instructions and accessible ingredients. That's what I'm talking about. So these recipes have just a few ingredients. Again, it's not a lot. It's things you know of. Some of them have a lot of ingredients. Some of them have very little. It's kind of like the one you were just talking about. But the ones that have a lot are like, those are the ones I'm like tempted to attempt because they're like, they look so fancy. But she starts the cookbook with pasta. My favorite kind of food. I'm like, damn, this girl's really speaking to me.
What the carbs? What's up?
Right. Another thing I kind of like about this cookbook is every chapter is color coded. So if you look at the spine of the book, look, I can show you, David.
Oh yeah.
Every color is a different chapter.
That's cool.
So if you're like, trying to find what the next section is, you just go by color. I find that really interesting for some reason. But again, these are ingredients you can find anywhere. These aren't like, again, some crazy thing. But it's just so beautifully done. So she has things like your first vegan lasagna, which I think is like so cute. She teaches you how to make different kinds of cheese. So mozzarella cheese, Swiss cheese. She teaches you how to make seitan. She teaches you how to make things like just a regular like tempeh Reuben, like nothing like crazy, but she adds in beets. So it's like a little bit like a spin on maybe a recipe you've had before. But this book it'll engulf you because it's got beautiful like moody pictures. They're kind of dark and like, I don't know. But another thing I love, this is gonna make me sound like I'm like 70 years old. Just judge me if you must. The type is really big. Like the text is big. So for the blind people in the world, you can see this much easier. I know it sounds stupid, but for some reason it looks really pretty the way that she lays things out, and it's just like really fat text.
Although I think if you're blind, I don't think the size of the text will help you too much.
Why do you have to be so mean to me?
Braille usually more efficient for the blind. But
don't like you anymore.
I have to pick on you. You don't have to do it.
Yes. I definitely recommend this book, despite the fact that I've never cooked from it, because it is a beautiful, beautiful work of art. And I promise I will cook from it, just like you're going to cook from Gaz's cookbook. We're both going to venture into the ones we haven't tried.
I like that, actually. I might do like a Christmas dinner, like pick out the Wellington thing, a Christmas dinner thing. I mean, I'm no one in the house that would eat it, but then I could, leftovers have meal prep. Yay!
There you go. So my final little tip that I didn't mention this to you, but I kind of want us to do this too.
You're just throwing
create your own cookbook. Right now,
down.
I'm just throwing it at you now.
All right.
So we both come up with like our own little recipes that we like. We also find ones we like that we kind of alter. So I like the idea of kind of creating your own cookbook. Now, I don't mean you have to like format it and print it and make it all like that. It literally could just be a box of recipes. That could be considered a cookbook to me, like just having the recipes written down so you can go through them and pick from them. I think is like a fun thing to do. So I have a little story. My aunt Aunt Katy, if you're listening, I love you. Probably not, but if you are, she's the best aunt in the world, and she's very Italian. So she worked at, let's just say it's a state office in Palm Beach County. That's all I'll say. Um, and all of her coworkers, they're all like really good cooks. They would bring in food. They would have potlucks all the time. So they made like an office cookbook, and it was the cutest thing. They gave it to like everybody for Christmas and stuff, but it was great because it had like my grandma's old recipes that my aunt put in there, and it's like so nostalgic. But then it's like everybody else's from the office. They put all their recipes in, and it just makes me think like if I got my favorite recipes from my friends that were vegan, obviously, and then from you and the ones I like, I could create like the cutest little cookbook of my own. So I like things that people have already tried
I mean,
is what I'm looking for, like things you've already tried and you like, not just like just a random recipe.
I mean, I'm down with the average vegan's cookbook. I'm down.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
I just made an amazing pot pie tonight. You can all go look on our Instagram at The Average Vegans, and you will see my delicious pot pie that I could definitely put into a little cookbook so people could remake it.
it looks so good too. Oh man.
Ooh, it's really good. It made it so I can make it through this episode and I'm not like starving like
Yeah.
you probably are.
I had an apple.
So filling.
Right.
So we would love to hear from you guys, to hear what your favorite vegan cookbook is. Especially if it's one that you've used a lot and you've tried. We'd love to hear your recommendations. So you can message us on Instagram or Facebook at The Average Vegans, or email us at theaveragevegans@gmail.com. You can find the podcast at Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, or anywhere else you get your podcasts fix. Please leave us a review anywhere that you listen to us. A thumbs up, a star, an actual review would be great. We would love it. Recommend us to your friends, family, coworkers, strangers, everybody. Your show notes and links and all that stuff can be found on our website at theaveragevegans.com. And again, we'd love to hear from you. Tell us your favorite cookbook, why you went vegan, what you plan to make for Christmas dinner, all those fun things. And if you have any episode ideas, let us know. That's about it.
All right. Until next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.